Hi everyone, this is my message of the day from yesterday, the 18th of August, and the decks are the Past Life deck at the top, and then Fortune's Oracle, the Good Tarot, and then the Rider-Waite there at the bottom. For those of you not familiar, the left is the underlying energies. I usually pull out 3 cards, and anything else that wants to come out organically I use for numerology and to finish off the message for each deck. At the end of the decks for this read, we had 1113 and 16227, the co-creation of Mother Nature, soaring suddenly, or abundance suddenly, as the Fool leaps with the Chariot and Key, with justice, alignment, and transition suddenly to new passion, the Queen's Gambit, from 1 to 7 through justice of group lovers on the 5D station or platform, and it was coming up as the 8-9 pod, waiting for the pod. And 89 for me is the energy of Phi, which is expanding and contracting, or in the middle, reflecting. So authority figures comes up here at 1039, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Wands. The Judge, authority figures, and the number 35, the Wish, the Ace of Water, and the 8 of Swords reversed, which is number 62. Judges, Dan, and DNA tribe, with sparkly gavel, authority figures, gold to the nth degree, human rights, ride, or carving out or score, Sophia's core, literary work, duck, butt, ass, bone, or to pave their own way at the Y in the road, reflecting God. You are Sophia, or the feminine side of that. The wounded warrior surrenders to get their wish. The heart turned on and squared, an open book of new love, self-love, and spiritual love, and releasing of the chains, anxiety, imprisonment. The underlying energy of wars and battles, and spouse, Egypt, and authority figures. Civil war, and how many soldiers does it take to set up a tripod on which to set one flag, competing for the same purpose, and the point of that? The bone of contention, the spouse, 2 under umbrella, the waves of shadows of Ia's alignment, and Iggy's part-time. The Egoroth could be coming up there as well. The SP and then the E of authority figures with Sophia's row, which is the P, which is the line, and the anti-C, right? The antithesis and the parentheses, it's the reflecting C, along with the line, and the line is also the C because the line is actually an arc between 2 points. Christ reflecting the C and the anti-C, and Ia, U to the nth degree, the human embodiment of Source, Rho chakra system with gratitude, or IT, I am top dog, at the Y in the road, reflecting I am God, you are S, one equal and congruent S, and a battle of equal rights. So again, that energy of equal rights between men and women. The knighthood comes up as a cover-up, the weapon and shield, the sword and the stone, Sophia's word and tone, the 2, roads at the intersection of 1, the court and the guard, the Russian dolls and the nutcrackers. The authority figure has a sparkly gavel, so that must be a feminine, of course, more able to be neutral with a softer ego, the omega, the om, ego, the feminine ego, the om, the home, and the AUM of the gold mountain, Olympus, and the Titans, which is Source, and the Tan Man, the human, the gold co-creation, climbing to the peak to try to get to the 5D station when only 0 point works now, in the now moment. The 0 and then the dot is the human, part time, part space. So Source me, and me is the name of what Enki was supposed to have gifted us, the gift of civilization, and Sophia's pace. The time of TI, which is Source, and me, of civilization, the C of the whispering bench, that leap, that arc, and the IVI, which is co-creation, the L, and then the IZA of Liza, and then TION, which is the Tyon, which is also the tiger-lioness connection. Or, so this could be the Christ consciousness co-creation of the battle of the sexes, so to speak here, or the lies state, being in a state of lies. At 1111, Civi, C-I-V-I, is the loose girl or the spoon or citizen, no longer a child or a freshman. The arc of co-creation in the battle of the sexes, or lizard tie to human Christ consciousness, or in a state of lies. Loose Liz state, or loose Liza top dog connection, or civil is a state of being. And again, civil is, remember, L is the same thing as C because it's just an arc either way. So civil, the word, is literally parentheses with IVI in the middle, which is co-creation. Co-creating inside the parentheses. Pa, rent, he sees, or he is the sister, right? The feminine energy, or, you can reference that as a sissy. PA is the pa, regarding N to the nth degree. For me, N is also Christ energy. The heading, the front, the facade, was, having been, eaten, and flatulence. The father regarding constant farting, releasing of air where the sun don't shine. The father's sour stomach, to eat, and having been eaten, they know what it's like, and has a hard time having to eat, cracking open the egg, so to speak, the human connection to the intersection of source, the point, where he draws a hard line. And the point, notice, is the P-O in T, the hard line of hers with a soft line, the anti-C, the humans at the intersection of L and C, left at the right angle on the whispering bench. LC, as in the ocean, or Elohim's C, through the electric light orchestra hymn, high co-creation arc, the canopy, and can human pee while under God's umbrella, Ella, Ella. Ea's alignment of Eve and Adam's emotional attachment. The word Eve-Adam together is the royal house of Ea's dam, Father's co-creation with little man. So Adam, or Eve-Adam backwards, is like Medea with V-E on the end, M-A-D-A-E-V-E. And the only word that came close was Madavaskal, which in Greek is Medeos, or wet worm, or earthworm, referencing the worm or the hydra energy from earth, or Latin malva and ibiscum, and it's called Althea officinales, which was, for me, was bringing up the Altians, which I know Elena Denon has talked about. And then me comes up there again, the gift of civilization, of earth and hydra, without schooling here, and that Eve Adam, as in Eve and Adam together, means to evade or exit, cross or escape, arrive at, ending, or become, ascend, rise, climb, go beyond, exceed, and leap. Eve, A-D, am, or A-M. So Eve after death is. So Adam, Eve is Adamer, to love ardently, crave, desire, devote. Adam is a block, and Eve is a home with little eggs. The Eve before, the dawning of the age of Aquarius. And the dawn is the D-A-W-N, the Father's to use in Jesus's likeness. At 1140, which is the alignment with 40, which is the number of Enki, or Ea. The judge and knight, her judgment puts him on guard. And I kept getting the song, "This is how we do it," and I couldn't find it. I don't know what song that is, whether it was Backstreet Boys, I couldn't remember what group it was, but that's the song I was getting. So if someone can put that in the comments somewhere, that would be good. This is how we do it. So her judgment puts him on guard, and a cover-up here with two doves who need to forgive their likeness of each other or their lockness, and open with the key to see eye to eye. Aye, Capitan, as the crown of the chakra system of the tan man or the hue man, the man with the yellow hat and his Curious George, which the yellow hat references the crown, and his Curious George, which comes up here. And notice George is GE of energy and GE of energy with OR in the middle, just like Thoth is to the nth degree and to the nth degree with O in the middle of the human source embodiment. The Curious George is the Q and Rias. The Q is conception and Rias is laughter, the concept of laughter of George. For high priest and priestess to look up as the young ones are watching to learn how you take vows. The creation of human embodiment of source as to use. So they're watching you closely, right? So make sure you understand the concept of laughter and don't take yourselves or life too seriously, as the underlying energy of the 16 of the lion's roar and the 20 of marriage, the 35 of the wish, the call to wake up to unconditional love as the wounded warrior's wish is ready to come true. A heart's calling all aglow of Leo and Sagittarius longing in Aquarius, the emotion of laughter. As the hammer comes down to turn the heart on, this is how we do it. The tower of judgment of the wounded warrior and court adjourned, getting wish and released. The 17 of love, the 26 of plain, the 27 of proposal of two rings. As the wounded warrior surrenders for dreams to come true in higher planes of existence, the page of wands excited to level up a little bit at a time to fantasy island. New passion, with the proposal coming up as the P and Ropo, which is the mite, which is the smallest coin of Christ's time. The Ro might say leap. Sophia reaches out with pawn or mite, a very small coin. Say leap. Simon says. The queen's gambit, when she speaks, he leaps. Can't resist her charms, her game bit, and offer too good to refuse. The 27 of 2-7 and the pi, which is the circle with the line down the middle, sharing equally, to turn inside out into the Pisces symbol of the two C's now back to back with the line horizontally, leaping from one dimension to the next. Two C's and the line drawn between. Well, let's see. That's called land. L plus or 1 ET, which is the inlet, or LET, extraterrestrial, or and. The one equal and congruent to time out in space, day and night, night and day. But if two angelics, then what? Well, then there's instead of vow, which is the word here, it's wow, vow. the vow of UO is coming up, right? Because I brought a message across the other day that Ia came across as I owe you humans. And this is my gift to you. So the bird, the poop, and the lobster came up with that. And then VO is again the sea inlet, which I just said the inlet, which came up from something totally different than VO. The sea inlet of two U's. VO is the voice, to be worth. U, ox, which is hugs and kisses. To wash and make into a ball or clay that the humans were supposed to be made of with E as DNA. Not to create OUs, but O2Us. With the voice and worth hugs and kisses and Play-Doh time to bend and mold and become. At 12:28, the hanging man and the twin flames, the two of wands, or choice of path, the 31 thorns, the two of angel, the 23 of the owl, and the 7 of cracker, the 12 of the fool, and the 28 of the snake, through the thorns of the rose, or risen, two angels, and the owl's wisdom, and the key, and key is actually a title referencing Lord of the Earth, where ki, Ki, means the earth, the vehicle of ascension, our planet's sense connection. The planet is the play nets, or the plan of the ETs, and, or plus, or ET, like I said. AN and DS is 1 and 2. The hanging man and the fool and the twin flame kundalini hide and seek of Hydra and sea energy, the water wheel and the 1-2 punch. And I was getting pinched right there. Adding a little something something to the water here. So the hanging man and the queen of swords at 1252 is the hanging man and the queen of swords. Climbing thorns to the angelic realms with the higher self and the king of wands, wise owl, in the chariot. The hanging man and the fool, loyal friends to the end. The 28 of the twin flame snakes of the kunda, which reference the vagina and the bird and the tree. And then the lini, which is the line. Like and love, basin, bowl, pit, the cavity, vessel, or fireplace. The line, which is lion, right? So lion and line can be construed as one and the same, as well as flax and linen coming up again here for kunda. The energy of K and the UN, the father lion or line, and reflecting the egg cracked open, one equal and congruent. Her V, the bird, her tree. The crossroads of Rho, which is the symbol of the P, which is the line again, which can be the C, and then the P part at the top is the anti-C, or the antithesis of the C. The energy of him being the line because he refuses to bend, him being stubborn, and her softening him up. And again, this references the branches around the tree, right, where the tree is very stubborn and fixed, and then the branches around the tree or the flowers around the tree are more flexible and able to move more easily. Here, she softens him up. He is the line, she is the arc. He is stiff and strong, and she is bendable and flexible and able to see around things. Right? The feminine is 2. She sees both sides and he sees directly. He is the land. She is the 2 seas. Her fresh and salty blend that energize him, that land strip in the middle of the 2 seas, allows him to reach higher. He's trying to source farther, but without it's much harder task, and thus the Olympiad. But she is a Titan, not Olymp AD, or AD 2023 times 365 to 366 days. So then they took me into the days and how many days going into the Olympics next year. And it was very interesting because the number 73,900 comes up on April 8th, 2024 to the 9th, which is Holy Saturday and Easter Sunday. So that was a very significant date that came up. So 4/9 especially, which is Easter. So that's actually on the 9,000th day. The other days that came up significant were February 29th, of course, because it's a leap year in the 24, so February 29th, which that day adds up to 39, which is the Knight of Cups. And from August 31st into September 1st is the 739/144th day since 0 of time. So, and also December 25th, 2024 comes up significant as 739,260 days, which is what is the day divisible by 18, which is 41070. So, and 41 is the Ace of Cups, and of course 7 being the key with a lot of source energy around it, with the zeros space between. So, so some very interesting things should be coming up in 24 as well, as this year we're in the 23 year of the King of Wands, learning how to balance our masculine passions. So the Queen of Wands is then the feminine passions, who in the Wands suit is supposed to be more magnanimous than the masculine, like with more personality. She's more friendly, where he's the man of passion and very driven. She's more of that social aspect of the two. And she's also the number 24 of Omega, which is enlightenment, reaching enlightenment. So as we turn the page at 209, which is the higher self or divine feminine, and the 9 of the Hermit with space between, we go in to reach the impossible dream. Mount Olympus, that when we're aroused by the muses, Pegasus was tasked to spring a few leaks to relieve the pressure of welling up with a tap of his hoof. Mount Olympus would not swell unless they were under extreme pressure. And if they were happy with their muses, or aroused in a way that was authentic for them, they would not be swelling in the general body. And if he did get aroused, he would just have an eruption, knowing how to take care of himself. So why was Zeus having Pegasus create springs to relieve pressure, taking the pressure off, trying to control Olympus and the surrounding Olympia cities? And notice cities is the C of the ark or whispering bench and the T of the top dog. The city is the CT, the flexible arcs around the fixed trees and mountains, the whispering benches under the tree or canopy, the clouds over the mountains. But if the hanging man and their best friend is up the mountains, and the snake is at their heels, trying to nip at their heels to trigger them, trying to get them to take that leap, the skiing offense of the Winter Olympics. But there are no Winter Olympics, I think, till the next one is till, not this winter, but the next winter. So anyway, the Olympics were coming up. The first modern Olympics was Athens 1896, and King Georgius, as Curious George, came up. And then that was August 13th to the 29th of 2004 was the last one in Athens, and that was game 25. And what was significant about that Olympics was Michael Phelps in swimming. And then at 241 is the higher self and the Ace of Cups, the underlying transformation of the 13, and the 4 of water reversed. Perhaps an accident, but because all the cards here were actually upright, it shouldn't have been reversed. The King of Cups, the little scorpion starting over, and the 2 of the High Priestess with the Page of Earth, or the Curious Student, but I was getting Michael Phelps again for whatever reason, because he's got a P last name. But the Hanging Man, the High Priestess, or Higher Self, or Divine Feminine, and the Page of Earth Student, or an invite here, an opportunity to stir up some fire or drama in a wake-up call of Lady Liberty, and the little seahorse, or Amphit and Pegasus offering love. Scorpio, Pisces, Virgo, and Aquarius here, and Amphit, I'm just abbreviating her name because I can't say it over and over again altogether, but again, this is Poseidon's wife, right? And so Pegasus wasn't her child, but she was the woman of the sea, and she loved all the sea creatures, and Pegasus was a seahorse. So the 8 of Fire comes up here, of when she ran away from Poseidon with his trident in the windy sea by the Atlas Mountains with her panda bear, or Pegasus seahorse that she rode. In energetic exchange, or the hours of love here, because he was just a big teddy bear. It was so funny because my teddy bear, my daughter's dog Teddy, is a black and white teddy bear. His name is Teddy Bear, but here is a panda bear in the picture that's black and white. So it was, as I'm looking at Teddy, it was exactly the same thing. And Teddy, being a dog, he's very much like a horse when he runs. He's beautiful, actually. But the 7 of Air energy, or the number 61, where she thinks she's a beautiful white seabird, but she feels like an ugly duckling. So with the 3 of Air there, she took off her mask, and these little birds with crowns came to her, a couple of birds, and one on her wing. You see, she is angelic, so they resonate with her. And a man with a yellow hat or crown came to sit down beside her. Beside her, Poseidon, the Page of Water, came to help the buck make his offer. As the buck stops here and draws the line, that stiff line of the tree, at the beach or cliff, as Auntie Karana, or Karan, or Karen perhaps, who's afraid to fly and doesn't trust the bridge as it's failed them before. The 61 and the 57 came up here, which equal 118, and the Page of Cups, number 40, again, Enki or Ea again, on a Poseidon adventure. that he invented, you know, as I'm losing my voice, and was that the whole story? So Ea and the buck on that mountain, but he couldn't be that, and Amphet thinks he's scary anyway. So she might have felt like he was a big bully at first. That Ace of Earth with the 69, that 698 pod, perhaps him trying to get her into his pod, of twin peas that he made. Again, Adam and Eve. But Adam was a damn block, resistance to bend or be to an end. Much denser than Ea and Eve even, just as a jolly teddy bear at heart, Ea was, a demigod, as there is only one god and goddess. And he's working on it, not wanting to lose their top spot as king of the hill, afraid of those watery emotions. So who, or human, mid-cycle. You see, Pegasus actually reminds him of himself, pegged as Sophia-ish, or with that feminine side, you know. The fish. So what happened when he made this buck? Pegasus would have leaped right over that gap in a flash, and a flash back, perhaps 20 and back, to Rudolph, when this rude Delphin gave Poseidon the idea to use him to bring gifts to children all over the world, to use his authentic gifts for the good of others. But Pegasus was the black sheep and misunderstood, as he wanted to go to the Olympics with Perseus and be a real live boy for once. But his nose got so red when he traveled, getting a cold being out of water too long. And Uncle Zeus was a big old bully and made him lug his clubs instead. So he ran away with Perseus to Atlas instead and ditched Belle of the ball. What a fawn, which is, what is it, Bellerophon is his name. What a fawn. But wow, that Hercules, not knowing he was actually Athena, he so adored, but who wanted to tame him before she would ride him. He needed to wake up to how he hurt her, committed to all those other reindeer games, and after the explosion, Poseidon was never the same. Cry me a river, as he has lost the son he always wanted, but couldn't admit it with Zeus around. But he got the gods to come around to him about making Pegasus a real live boy again. Just too woody, and he couldn't be hung out to dry or burned to a crisp or a nice crispy treat, heaven forbid. As the island of misfit toys was up for sale, a whole variety on Gilligan's Isle, he as the skipper, and now could ski, but on the water instead. Ooh, Pegasus, the water would make a great landing strip for you if you would just come back 20, 40, or 60 years, whatever. Just come back and be my boy at 323, which is the Empress and the King of Wands. Zeus doesn't want us around, he says. So come and be in the sky with me, Pegasus. I hear Qantas is good. Maybe you could work for them and your horsepower, or HP computers. Now that's a real Olympics at 327. Again, the Empress, or the bird, and the 27 of the Ace of Wands. And the underlying energy here. So here's the sun in all their glory, and now satisfied with the King of Cups' father, and even his stepmother liked him. So happy they understand his need for land and sea, and very adept at the sky, as such passion and so well-rounded, especially if he takes on Perseus's humanity. Ooh, and could get close to Hercules, aka Athena, with a very and dramatic father, Andromeda. Jesus! In a twist of fate, the hermit reversed, like the hanging man, to see what he could see, but dropped their light and then couldn't sleep until they found it again. With Leo upright, with really positive water couple, and Virgo reversed, not sleeping with the King of Wands reversed, Perhaps Hera is sick of Zeus cheating, stubborn and weak and egotistical, with a forked tongue that gives a lashing when trying to work or align with something practical and good. As the Ace of Wands reversed and the Ace of Swords reversed here at 336, the Empress and the Atlas energy of the Weight of the World, playing games of thrones with the Hierophant or Taurus, and unable to conceive of the lies and divide, and uninspired, being bossed around by the priest, the governor, or the local leader, rallying all the boys' club. This is how it's going to be. Or perhaps this is a strict religious order trying to recover their finances and assessing their worth, coming out of the hospital or exile just to walk away again once they have all their ducks in a row. As we go back to her feeling like an ugly duckling. Away from the King of Swords reverse performers and the juggling act, or toying with them, feeling powerless and dependent, or spending all their money. To cross the bridge, or on the Ten of Cups, that emotional fulfillment of the rainbow, where skies are blue, or the sound of music, or the muses of the inner child that they're so worried about expanding and blowing up on Mount Olympus. Perhaps post Austria, and confronted by a choice. The end of the war, and yeah, but now what? Just pick up and go? As the Knight of Pentacles makes an offer to end the pain that's been ignored over and over again. The Knight of Cups reverse drama or stubborn Scorpio with an issue at work, or the Knight of Cups reverse causing drama at work or school or any place you create in a breakup or lack of affection, or Gemini and Scorpio both reversed and no escape, and oh my Lord, you wouldn't want to be in that energy. So the Eight of Cups is upright. And what are our choices here? And what are the unknowns we need to fill in? Seeing things about the High Priestess or the Divine Feminine or Higher Self, the Sister, the Nurse, or the Pisces or Virgo, the Quiet One, the Secret Keeper, and the Empress next to her. Or the Dream Team, quote unquote, or Sisters of Power, or two sides of the Quiet Bookkeeper, and then the sensual Empress upright. But without peace, perhaps they have to get up early to travel home, or issues with deception that will have to wait until they are home, or the new moon in celebration or crossing the finish line, in a competition, a game, a battle or performance that is over, or in a losing battle with the Queen of Wands in the past, or looking back at the Page of Wands, causing the Knight of Wands reversed, which references Pegasus, to trip up and fall, using temptation or Capricorn, or the ball and chain, or witness to their bad behavior, or now healing the Queen of Pentacles reversed from a car accident, or being ungrounded, or home after a lot of traveling, perhaps an apology or forgiveness and release of any anxiety, imprisonment, or perhaps with no-fault insurance. With Death, Dark Night, and Scorpio rides in, or the cleanup crew, or first responders, okay? Maybe someone needs a spine alignment. The horse and their rider, man and best friend to the end. With Scorpio, Saggy, and Aquarius here, the Knight headed towards the Ten of Pentacles upright, family, business, community, or legacy, or transformation of heaven on earth, or to Penn, William, or Sean, for justice, or to seek balance of the other side, once getting through it all, or family and school, a work reunion or big celebration, or a visit to a nursing home, or realizing they don't fit in this group of cute little ducklings, but rising to something more very slowly so they can all keep up and follow their example if necessary. Perhaps Scorpio and Libra, or Dark Night and Justice, are making, maybe they're making this event, or meeting at this event, or making out at this event that I was getting. The Dark Night and Justice are meeting at this event, or making this event, or making out at this event. This could be a vacation, or a courthouse, or an old age home, or a wedding perhaps. A big transition, or rites of passage to truth and balance, or the Dan tribe of judges, or justice of the peace, which is the P seal or C. And again, the energy of the P, the line on one side and the parenthesis on the other, which both are actually parentheses with Ia in the middle, or Ia in the middle of the stiff tree and the flexible branches, the proposal to heal, to apologize, forgive, and merge with only the most patient in the land. The vortices circling and unfolding amidst the strip of land, energizing because of that water energy around them, or released in death at a celebration of life at 422, which is the Lambda Leap, or the Emperor, and the 22 of the Fool, or the 5D station. The Page of Pentacles is upright in energetic exchange, or the arrows of love, with the Ace of Cups upright offered out of nowhere from the Hanging Man, with the Magician reversed and Capricorn upright, but Gemini and Virgo reversed. Perhaps sad, but free actually under the radar. Or one saddened by the other's freedom and ready for attention, or needy for attention, or now with a bad reputation, or seen as a loser after all that hard work, or burdens and responsibilities are expected to continue and carry the weight of the world without them. And now what? At 427, which is the Emperor and the Ace of Wands. So with the Emperor upright here, breaking up with the wounded warrior, now surrendering, not seeing eye to eye or face to face, with the Queen of Swords upright here and the Page of Cups reversed, rejection, and their new information, or at least clarity here, that they're not coming together, or about a third party or bad influences around them, a bad call or poor judgment, holding back an announcement or calls. Perhaps they choked, or needs to swallow their pride, to come full circle, or was a bad decision and now it's over, completed, and come full circle, as the King of Pentacles reversed may be an arrogant star or healer, or perhaps made a bad call about a dream or dream girl and lost patience, or perhaps lost their temper, or the star fell from grace, or saw a falling star, or perhaps a falling feather, which represents Pegasus was there. As Aries is upright and Aquarius upright or reversed, Pisces upright, Sag reversed, perhaps Pisces reversed as well, or another water sign here. As the Ace of Pentacles is reversed with the Six of Cups reversed, and withholding or saving or planning a new life, not offering anything to the kids who have been behaving badly, or a negative past, or one had a falling out with, or for hanging out with bad influences, or stealing from a child, and not sharing, or being charitable until the Page of Swords steps it up, or not sharing or not being charitable until this child energy steps it up, whether it's a child or an adult, and able to stand on their own 2 feet, or take the high road and fend off or stand up to the group for themselves at 438. Again, the Pegasus story. It's not too late.